Hello and welcome to this edition of News Today. Without delay, let's have a look at the headlines first. Supreme Court directive to stop deforestation activities in the Kancha Gachibowli. India and Sri Lanka signed 7 MOUs, including first defense deal. Ministry of Port Shipping and Waterways celebrated 62nd National Maritime Day. UNHRC adopts resolution linking ocean protection and human rights to a healthy environment. Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation released Women and Men in India 2024 Selected Indicators and Data. A significant environmental development has come from the Supreme Court, a directive to halt deforestation activities in the Kancha Gachibowli area. This move follows the Telangana government's plan to auction around 400 acres of forested land near the University of Hyderabad to build IT parks. The proposal sparked widespread student protest, drawing national attention. But why is this forest land so important? Let's break it down. Urban forests play a vital role on multiple fronts. Environmentally, they help with air and water purification, carbon sequestration, temperature regulation, and biodiversity conservation. A prime example, Delhi Ridge, often referred to as the green lungs of the city. Socially, these green spaces are known to improve physical and mental health, reduce stress, promote physical activity, and strengthen social cohesion. Economically, they increase property values, attract tourism, and support local businesses and development. And when it comes to climate resilience, urban forests are key. They reduce urban heat, mitigate flooding, improve air quality, and enhance biodiversity. All crucial as cities adapt to climate change. Now, let's look at the challenges. What threatens urban forests in India? There are 4 major threats: rapid urbanization and infrastructure development, like the RA forest issue in Mumbai, which highlights how expanding cities are eating into green zones. Next, pollution and climate change. Urban forests face the impact of heat islands, erratic rainfall, and extreme temperatures, all of which hinder the growth and regeneration of trees. Additionally, invasive species and biodiversity loss. The introduction of non-native species and practices like monoculture disrupt natural ecosystems and outcompete native species. And finally, policy and regulatory gaps. The presence of multiple managing agencies, coupled with the absence of a comprehensive urban forest policy, makes coordinated action difficult. Now, what's being done to support urban forest? Let's take a look at the initiatives. The Nagar Van Udyan program aims to develop 200 urban forests, encouraging involvement from local communities, schools, and organizations. The School Nursery Yojana, or SNY, connects children with nature by having them grow saplings in school nurseries. In terms of method, the Miyawaki forest plantation technique is being used to create dense, native forests that thrive in urban spaces and boost local ecosystems. And finally, under the greening guidelines, the Union Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs mandates that cities maintain a minimum green cover of 12 to 18%. So, the Supreme Court's intervention is not just about stopping a construction project. It's about preserving critical urban forest land that holds environmental, social, and economic value for generations to come. Big developments in India's neighborhood diplomacy. India and Sri Lanka have taken a significant step forward in their bilateral relations by signing 7 memorandums of understanding, including the first ever defense deal between the two countries. Adding to the moment, the Prime Minister of India was honored with Sri Lanka's highest civilian award for foreign leaders, the Sri Lanka Mitra Vibhushana. This highlights not just the strengthening diplomatic ties, but also the personal rapport between the two nations' leaderships. Now, let's take a closer look at the key outcomes of this visit. First and foremost, defense cooperation. Both nations have signed an umbrella agreement framework to pursue ongoing defense sector collaboration in a more structured way. In a reassuring statement, the Sri Lankan president reaffirmed that Sri Lankan territory will not be used against India, a clear nod to addressing concerns around China's growing regional influence. Moving ahead, in the area of energy cooperation, the two sides agreed on grid connection for power trade and development of the Trincomalee Energy Hub in collaboration with the UAE. Beyond energy and defense, India also extended support to Sri Lanka in various sectors like digitization, healthcare, development of the eastern province, and importantly, lowering interest rates on loans to boost economic recovery. But why is Sri Lanka so important to India? Strategically and geopolitically, Sri Lanka plays a vital role in India's Mahasagar vision, that is, mutual and holistic advancement for security and growth across regions. Its proximity to key Indian Ocean shipping lanes makes it a critical partner in enhancing maritime domain awareness and curbing illegal maritime activities. On the economic front, India and Sri Lanka share a long-standing free trade agreement signed back in 1998. This helped bilateral trade touch $5.5 billion in 2023-24, with India's exports amounting to $4.1 billion. Culturally, the ties go as far as back as the time of Emperor Ashoka. A deep symbol of this connection is the sacred Bodhi tree at the Jai Shri Mahabodhi temple in Sri Lanka, believed to have grown from a sapling brought from India by Sanghamitra Mahateri, Ashoka's daughter, in the 3rd century BCE. However, despite the progress, challenges remain. One major concern is Chinese influence through its Belt and Road Initiative, notably the 99-year lease of Hambantota Port, raising strategic red flags for India. Then, there's a sensitive Tamil ethnic issue. Slow reconciliation and delayed implementation of the 13th Amendment continue to impact not only bilateral relations, but also India's domestic politics. And lastly, unresolved maritime boundary issues still persist, from firing incidents on Indian fishermen, the practice of bottom trawling, to the long-standing dispute over Kachativu Island. Clearly, the path forward for India and Sri Lanka is one of both promise and prudence. The recent agreements mark a hopeful chapter, but long-term stability will depend on how both sides address these long-standing concerns. Moving on, the Ministry of Port Shipping and Waterways, or MoPSW, recently celebrated the 62nd National Maritime Day. This day marks a special milestone in India's maritime history, as it commemorates the historic voyage of the SS Loyalty, the first Indian-owned steamship which sailed from Mumbai to London on April 5, 1990. Now, let's take a closer look at the significance of India's maritime sector in today's world. To begin with, it plays a key role in energy security, with over 80% of oil and 50% of gas being imported by sea. Next, it is central to India's trade operations, accounting for 95% of trade volume and 70% of trade value. And not to forget, India's strategic location is vital for international shipping lanes, making the country a key player in global maritime logistics. Moving on, India's maritime sector stands strong with a 7,500-kilometer coastline, supporting 12 major ports and over 200 minor ports, placing it as the 16th largest maritime nation. India is also the 3rd largest country in ship recycling by tonnage. India's performance in the World Bank's International Shipment Logistics Performance Index has improved notably, from 44th in 2018 to 22nd in 2023. And between 2014-15 and 2023-24, major ports enhanced their cargo handling capacity by 87%, with Paradip Port becoming the largest major port in the country. But the road ahead isn't without hurdles. There are ongoing challenges, such as inefficient port infrastructure, especially when it comes to connectivity with inland transport. Additionally, environmental concerns related to coastal ecosystem degradation and large port projects raise sustainability questions. On the global front, geopolitical risks and threats from non-state actors, including attacks on commercial vessels, also remain areas of concern. To overcome these issues and boost maritime growth, the government has introduced multiple initiatives. In terms of policy, it allows 100% FDI under the automatic route for port and harbour projects, along with a 10-year tax holiday for port development enterprises. On the infrastructure side, a major port at Vadhavan in Maharashtra has been approved, with the vision of investing $82 billion by 2035 in port infrastructure. Schemes like the Sagarmala program, Maritime India Vision 2030, and the Green Tug Transition program have also been rolled out to support long-term maritime advancement. As we celebrate National Maritime Day, it's clear that India's maritime sector isn't just about ports and ships. It's a cornerstone of our economy, energy security, and global standing. Now, we bring you a significant development from the global stage that links environmental protection directly to human rights. For the very first time, the United Nations Human Rights Council, or UNHRC, has adopted a resolution recognizing the critical connection between plastic pollution, ocean protection, and the right to a clean, healthy, and sustainable environment. Let's take a closer look at the key highlights of this landmark resolution. Firstly, the resolution states that the protection of marine ecosystems is now considered part of states' obligations to protect human rights. It also underlines that the degradation of the ocean is not just an environmental issue. It threatens humanity at large, worsens inequalities, and disproportionately affects marginalized populations. Now, despite the existence of over 600 international agreements, marine ecosystems continue to face serious threats, ranging from climate change, overfishing, and extractivism to pollution and deep-sea mining. Moving forward, the resolution also outlines how ocean protection and human rights are deeply interlinked. Let's start with the right to food. Healthy oceans through fisheries provide high-quality protein and essential micronutrients to millions of people. For instance, coral reefs alone support 500 million people with food. Now, linking this with the right to livelihood, nearly 2.4 billion people live within 100 kilometers of coast. Many of them rely heavily on fisheries, tourism, and coastal ecosystems like mangroves to earn their living. Coming to the right to a healthy environment, our oceans play a crucial role in regulating Earth's climate. They filter air and water, recycle nutrients, and even help mitigate the impact of natural disasters. And lastly, speaking of the rights of future generations, oceans act as a carbon sink, making them vital in ensuring a stable climate for generations to come. Now, let's connect this global move to India's constitutional and legal framework. Article 15A, Clause G of the Indian Constitution clearly states that it is the fundamental duty of every citizen to protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, and wildlife, and to have compassion for all living creatures. In the judicial context, the MC Mehta versus Union of India case of 1986 holds special importance, as the Supreme Court recognized the right to a healthy environment as part of the right to life under Article 21. And more recently, in the MK Ranjit Singh versus Union of India case of 2024, the Supreme Court adopted a balanced approach, highlighting the need to conserve endangered species while simultaneously addressing the fight against climate change. This resolution by the UNHRC is a major step toward acknowledging that safeguarding our oceans is not just an ecological responsibility, but a human rights imperative. Moving ahead, a crucial update from the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, the latest report titled Women and Men in India 2024, Selected Indicators and Data is out, and it gives us a comprehensive picture of the gender dynamics in our country. This report sheds light on various aspects, from population and education to health, economic participation, and decision making. Let's start with the numbers on population and gender balance. The sex ratio at birth shows an interesting shift, Between 2014-16 and 2018-20, urban areas recorded a sex ratio of 910, which has now surpassed rural areas where the ratio stands at 907. This indicates a rising trend of female migration towards urban regions. Moving to health indicators, there's a significant improvement in maternal mortality rate. It has declined from 122 in 2015-17 to 97 in 2018-20, a positive step towards better maternal health care. Now, let's look at education. The literacy rate in India reached 84.7% for males and 70.3% for females in 2017. While Kerala leads with the smallest gender literacy gap, Rajasthan continues to have the highest. Next up, economic participation. India witnessed a remarkable rise in female labor force participation rate, which increased from 23.3% in 2017-18 to 41.7% in 2023-24. Closely linked to that is financial inclusion. Women now own 39.2% of all bank accounts and contribute to 39.7% of total deposits, a strong sign of growing financial independence. Let's shift focus to leadership roles. In terms of representation in corporate leadership, women now hold 28.7% of board of director positions in FY25, up from 26.7% in FY20. In the political sphere, the female voter turnout saw some fluctuation. It peaked at 67.2% in 2019, but slightly declined to 65.8% in 2024. Finally, a concerning statistic. The report reveals that 31.9% of married women aged 18 to 49 have experienced spousal violence. The highest rates were reported in Karnataka with 48.4%, followed by Bihar with 42.5%, Manipur with 41.6%. Clearly, the report paints a mixed picture. While there are strides in areas like education, health, and financial inclusion, the challenges, especially around violence and inequality, still demand urgent attention. In today's Place in News, we turn our focus to Lesotho with its capital, Maseru. Lesotho is currently at the center of an international trade dispute after the United States imposed a 50% tariff on its imports, the highest rate imposed on any country so far. Now, let's talk about the political and geographical features of Lesotho. Lesotho is a small, mountainous, landlocked country entirely surrounded by its much larger neighbor, South Africa. It is also known as the Mountain Kingdom. Geographically, Lesotho stands out due to its high altitude of 3,096 meters, making it colder than expected for its latitude of 30 degrees south. The country experiences temperature variations influenced by both the Indian and Atlantic Oceans. Major mountain ranges include the Drakensberg and Maloti ranges. Among its notable rivers, the Orange River, one of southern Africa's largest, originates in the Lesotho Highlands. Lesotho also shares a UNESCO World Heritage Site with South Africa. The Maloti Drakensberg Park, a transnational property comprising the Ukalamba Drakensberg National Park in South Africa and the Sehla Batebe National Park in Lesotho. As we conclude today's main news, let's have a look at some quick updates. Indian Lok Sabha Speaker attended the 150th Inter-Parliamentary Union Summit in Tashkent in Uzbekistan. IPU began in 1889 as a small group of parliamentarians. Its mission is to facilitate parliamentary diplomacy and empower parliaments and parliamentarians to promote peace, democracy, and sustainable development worldwide. India secured an uncontested position in the United Nations Intergovernmental Working Group of Experts on International Standards of Accounting and Reporting for 2025-27 term. ISAR is a standing intergovernmental working group dedicated to assisting member states to improve quality and international comparability of financial reporting and non-financial disclosure such as environmental issues, corporate governance, and corporate social responsibility. Food and grocery delivery firm Swiggy has received 7.6 crore rupees notice from Pune Professional Tax Department. Professional tax is levied by the state government under Article 276 of the Constitution of India, which grants them the power to impose a tax on professions, trades, and employment. Kazakhstan discovered the largest deposit of rare earth elements in central Kazakhstan's Karaganda region. REEs are a set of 70 elements including 15 lanthanides plus scandium and yttrium. Elemental forms of rare earths are iron grey to silvery, lustrous metals that are typically soft, malleable and ductile and usually reactive. 4 great Indian bustard chicks hatched within a week at the Sudasari Center in Rajasthan, marking a significant milestone in the species recovery under the Bustard Recovery Program. The Great Indian Bustard is endemic to the Indian subcontinent and is primarily found in Rajasthan and Gujarat, with smaller populations in Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh. Recently, Prime Minister of India inaugurated the new Pamban Bridge in Tamil Nadu, marking the opening of India's first vertical lift railway sea bridge. Vertical lift bridge is a type of movable bridge in which a span rises vertically while remaining parallel with the deck. During his recent visit to Thailand, the Indian Prime Minister gifted a Dokra brass peacock boat to the Thai Prime Minister. The sculpture features a peacock-shaped boat adorned with intricate patterns and colorful lacquer inlays. Kannadi Paya has become the first tribal handicraft from Kerala to receive the geographical indication tag. Kannadi Paya is a beautifully woven mat, also known as mirror mat, due to its unique reflective pattern. Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solutions to the quiz and to access the PDF version of News Today, remember to visit the provided links in the description.